What is up, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast, which is now appropriately named the LoofCast. We have rebranded, and if it's not updated on the place you guys are listening to this yet or watching this, that's our bad. It will be updated very soon. But yes, we have officially rebranded, and we were originally going to start as the Content Cast, but I looked it up when we were working on our rebrand, and turns out the Content Cast already exists.
Definitely taken. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a common name, so I kind of figured it was, but in the 2 minutes that I looked it up on Spotify, I didn't find it. But
to be fair, like I was googling the names when we were originally thinking of like rebrand ideas. I wasn't looking up on Spotify or anything, but I looked it up on Spotify like the night we were talking about our rebrand, and it just came up. I was like, the Content Cast. Then I see weekly uploads, and I'm like, yeah, no, we're not beating that.
Not happening.
But yes, we're back to the LoofCast, which is pretty nice. Honestly, I kind of like it a bit more because it represents a bit more of us, about us as well.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, it really does.
And it's not, and it makes us, like when I tell my family that I own a podcast, and then they ask for the name of it, they don't think I'm a Satanist.
We can now tell people it's the LoofCast, and people be like, oh, that's a cute little name, and they're not going to immediately be like, what do you talk about? Fucking, like, Satanism? Like, listen, I get it, exactly. I'm the devil, but, you know, we're not advocating that here. Got thrown out of heaven once, I don't need it to happen again.
So, as we usually do, we're going to start out the episode with small talk. I'm going to let you go first. Because I got an angry rant to go on, so
he does.
We'll let him go first.
I don't really have a lot, to be honest. I mean, like, today's just been stressful as shit for me. I spent 2 hours this morning running around a cliffside, basically trying to get shots for an upcoming video, and I think I'm gonna have to redo it again, anyways, because let's just say I had two cameras, one which was my phone. One of them died midway through recording my little spiel.
Damn.
And then my phone kept going, but it hit 4%, and I called and gave him a panicked voicemail saying that I hadn't gotten arrested.
Yep.
Because I will say the place I was at there was a chance of me getting arrested. I did get yelled at by a cop. Because it's called the Devil's Bunker, for those who don't know, which is really funny. It's by Devil's Slide on Highway 1. And basically the Devil's Bunker is just this old like World War II era bunker that's like still sitting on top of a hill that you can explore and stuff. And I climbed up on top of it to get like a perfect shot of like everything. But the second I climbed up there, one of the cops that usually sits in the end of the bridge nearby noticed me, and they drove over, and one of them like walked up the hill, was like, "Yo, get the fuck off of that right now!" So yeah, my immediate thing was like, all right, packed up my shit and got down. Because I was not looking to go to jail and miss another podcast recording.
Oh yeah.
Either way, fuck you, random cop. I might sneak back up there when there's not a cop, but yeah, that's about all I got. I mean, it's been a nice week. I did some nice streams. Actually, a couple days ago, which is actually really awesome, I had like 2 massive raids, which was really cool.
Yeah, dude, I want y'all to know I woke up at like 9 in the morning.
Okay, context. Hold on. Like, first of all, context. I started streaming at like 1 a.m. I started streaming like 1 a.m. So
I wake up at like 4, 9 in the morning, usual time I wake up, right? You know, the Top Gear alarm is yelling at me to get the fuck up. You know?
Yep.
And then I see Lucy's notification. And it was like 4 hours ago, so I was like, I'll check if he's still alive. All of a sudden, I go on Twitch. This motherfucker's at 43 views, and I'm like, okay, all right.
Like,
there needs to be a mod in there immediately.
Yeah, no. To be fair, like I just want to say there was no issues. Like both of the communities that raided me were amazing people. I absolutely loved them. But yeah, it happened at 2 hours in my stream, so like at 4 a.m. in the morning. So like 2 hours before you got in there, like I had this one person, Cap Queen, she came in and she rated me. I think it was like 137 viewers, and I was immediately terrified because I'm playing Outlast Trials, which is a horror game, so I was already horrified. Running around because I'm right there with Whirly. We're running around like one of the harder maps and we're terrified. And then all of a sudden the rain comes in. So now I'm like running in circles, getting my ass whooped by these fucking enemies, trying to put movie reels into a thing. So that was one of the things we had to accomplish in the map. And like the whole time I'm like, oh my god, there's people. Shit. Like, and for those who don't know, I'm like awkward to tell on camera. So for a while there, my thing was at like, 120. Like, I'll say this again, I've said it before. I don't really care about the numbers. Like, if I grow, if I don't. I like making content for people who enjoy it. But like there was 125 people in there for a while, and I'm like panicked the whole time, like fuck. Because I just have to do all this like random stuff. And it was great. Like the community was amazing. I absolutely loved them. But like, oh, it was so like nerve-wracking to just be like, all right, chat, game, enemy. And then I got murdered yeah, well, I got murdered by one of them like 15 minutes after the raid because I was not paying attention. I was kept trying to chat. And then what I did was really stupid. I went to slide under a sound trap, which was just cans hanging. I slid under it and I slid right into the feet of another enemy who just like beat me to death.
Of course.
It was not good. But yeah, it was a great time.
So yeah, I'll start with what happened yesterday, because I have had, over the last 2 days, I've had a slew of fucking technical issues out the ass for no reason. Number one, I know how to, hang on. I'll get it. Number one, okay? Really? Now it does it. Number one,
I can't get past the
my internet. My internet is shitting the bed. That's pretty normal for me because I'm across the house from my router. Okay, it is what it is. It has to get through 3 walls to get to me.
I was gonna say it's the same deal for me. Like my router is about 50 feet that way. And it has to go through 3 walls and the outside.
Like, I hope none of you listening here, I know one of you, I know Lucas, if you're listening to this, is was there, but I hope none of you saw that stream that I had the night before this recording, because I was so fucking angry. I was playing Siege, and I would not stop stuttering for no reason. There's no other game that I have problems with internet. It is only that game. And if you've played Siege, you stutter once in the middle of a gunfight, you're dead. You are just dead.
Yeah, you see, here's the thing. I play Siege. I don't even need to stutter. I just suck at the game.
Dude, I was getting so mad. So not only that, okay, I'm trying to sign up. I'm trying to get this new job. I won't say where, but we'll say it's a grocery store, right? I'm trying to become like a baker's assistant, right?
Yeah.
That or stocking, stuff like that. The fucking application wouldn't submit for no reason. I'd get halfway through it, and it'd be like, oh, please enter a valid location. What the fuck do you mean enter a valid location? Okay? I applied to 3 of your stores. What do you mean? And not only that,
don't exist anymore.
Yeah, not only that, it would wipe everything I typed. So I would have to
it was one of those.
Everything.
I want to say this right now. Website optimization is bullshit when it's like when you go to submit something and there's like a wrong thing and then it just like deletes your entire fucking progress. It's like, oh yeah, this was wrong, and then it just removes everything. It's like, why? Like, there's no need for that.
Yep, so that went out the window. I didn't get to apply. And on top of that, this is where the real rant comes in. And Apple, you're in some fucking shit, bro. I am pissed.
They're always in some shit.
Not only your support, but how you actually handle situations. Okay, I just got an Apple Watch. Okay.
Yes.
My dad just got one of the new. What is the name of the company? It starts with a G. German. They got Gerwin, whatever the fuck.
Garmin.
Right? He just got one of those Garmin. Yeah. He got one of those watches, so he had an Apple Watch, so he gave it to me. All right. First off, the watch was locked because he had put in the passcode too many times, right? So it was just locked on that screen. Okay. I did the thing to reset it, which, by the way, you hold the side button, wait for the sliders to come up for the power off and everything, and then you hold down the knob, and it should say erase all data. Nothing.
Oh
Nothing.
no.
Absolutely fucking nothing. It took me an hour and a half to wipe the damn thing. And
That's
every time I
insane.
looked up a solution, especially on like the Apple support page, I have like 8 different people saying they have the same problem. And you want to know what they did? They called Apple, right? To be like, yeah, maybe they can help me solve my problem. Not only were they super rude about their issue because these people have already tried, oh, have you hard resetted it? Are you sure you're
Lovely.
connected to the internet? Not only that, they basically said, oh, it's a software issue. Pay us $300 or fuck off.
Yeah, no, that's Apple in a nutshell. Their whole thing is like, basically they just want to make money. It's why there's all those bootleg like screen switchers in the mall and everything that everybody goes to for Apple, because if you go to their actual company, they'll charge you like literally fucking $200 to like switch out a cracked screen when it does not even nearly cost that much, and nobody can tell me otherwise because I know what the cost of those are.
Yep. So after I finally got it wiped, this is now hour 2 of me going at this. Okay, I go to set it up on my phone, right? Pair it together, get it all together, and then it goes to update. I'm like, okay, it's got an update, hasn't been on for a while, whatever. I hit update. Unable to update. Your phone is not connected to the internet. The fuck do you mean my phone is not connected to the internet?
Oh,
I both have
God.
cellular data and Wi-Fi on right now. The fuck do you mean? So there we go. Another hour goes by of me basically doing it over and over and over again. And you want to know something, Lucy?
Yes.
You want to know the stupid ass fucking solution to it was?
Turning off the internet.
I had to put my phone in low power mode. How does that
what?
make any sense?
How does
whatsoever?
that correlate?
At all. It should not. At all.
That doesn't make sense at all. Low power. Okay.
But guess what? Lo and behold, fucking worked.
Nice. Really
so I'm
nice.
like, okay, all right. It shouldn't take that long, right? Well, usually an Apple iPhone update takes about 15 minutes. Lucy, it took 4 hours to update.
I was gonna say, wait, hold on. An Apple iPhone update takes 15 minutes for you?
For me, most of the time, it's not that bad. Yeah.
I have an hour minimum. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, for me, it's usually not that bad. But it took 4 hours to install and another hour. So it took me 7.5 hours, if I'm doing the math right here. 7.5 hours
You are.
to get that fucking watch running.
That's some bullshit.
7.5 hours.
That's
But
some
guess
bullshit.
what? Oh, gee whiz! Now that it works and everything, it works great. I actually love it. It's a great fucking product. But like, dude, the setup made me actually want to throw it away. I almost gave it back to my dad.
No, I feel that, to be honest. Like, I feel that. I've definitely had my share of like really fucked up customer service bullshit. Like, I'm sure I've talked about it on this podcast, but for those who don't know the NZXT incident, which I know knows, that unfortunately, I wish that incident only took me 7 hours. The NZXT incident, I'll give you a brief kind of, this is what happened. That took me, I believe, 8 months to solve. Yeah, you heard right. I dealt with their support for 8 months. Now, for context, I got the PC in early May of, I believe, 2019 or 2020. So about 3-4 years ago. And that was just after my last one kind of crapped out, and I was like, all right, I got to do what I got to do. And I got it, and it was like my first time in a while going for a pre-built, which, in hindsight, I'm never doing that again. And I did.
Very few sites nowadays I trust with pre-builts, and NZXT is not one.
Fuck no. I don't even care if NZXT does custom builds. You do not ever trust NZXT as a company. They are horrible, and I'm going to tell you why. You will never want to buy from them after you hear what I have to say right now. So, issue number one.
Their cases are all right, though.
Their cases are nice. Issue number one. They sent me my PC, right? And everything was fine for the first little bit, but it had a faulty graphics card in it. It had a faulty graphics card in the PC. It didn't work right from the jump. So everything was fine on low graphic games and stuff. And then I would launch stuff like GTA and so forth, and my graphics card would just fail. So like my monitors would black out, my keyboard would black out, the PC would remain on, and I would have to literally disconnect the power from the PC in order to shut it down. The power button holding that down would not work. So my PC was fucked. Yep. Now I reached out to NZXT a few times over the next like 3 months, and I kept saying like, hey, I'm having this issue. And they would just refer, like the first time they were kind of helpful. They were like, all right, you know what, run this diagnostic thing and then that'll give us the stuff. The diagnostic thing came back and the checker was completely fine. You know why? Because it was only stressing the parts. It was not continually running stuff like a graphics card is supposed to do when running a game. It did a 5-minute stress test. But the thing is with the graphics error is the reason it was faulty, the game could run for anywhere up to 2 minutes to an hour before the PC would crash. There was no set timer on when it would go down. It was the most random warning time. And they asked me to try and document it. And I'm like, motherfucker, what do you want me to do? Just set my phone up behind me to record for an hour while I play GTA until the game crashes? And like, so
why don't you just tune into my Twitch? Why don't you just tune into my fucking Twitch stream and watch my computer shit itself, shit the whole bed?
Literally.
My whole fucking Twitch stream to go down. I've witnessed it happen on multiple occasions.
I think it happened on at least 13 streams.
Which, matter of fact, I'm going to add this idea to the podcast list if it's not already in there. We need to do an episode on tech issues because
we absolutely need to. It's not in there.
I'll give you a little preview. I have had the same issue with my PC. Do you remember when you gave me your old PC?
Yep.
You remember when I first got new parts?
Yep.
I have had a crashing issue with my PC since then.
Yep.
That was 4 years ago? 4 years ago,
2019.
Like
yep, I remember it.
Like,
it's insane.
That's a whole other story.
It's insane. I mean, to continue on the NZXT thing, like they had me run the diagnostic, and then every time I reached out for the next 3 months, they'd have me run that same diagnostic, and I'd be like, no, I'm telling you, because here's the thing. Within the first month, I had this pegged down as a faulty graphics card. Like, I have their chat receipts from them, and I literally told them, and I said, guys, it is a faulty graphics card. I need you to replace it. And they were like, yeah, it's not. Like, the diagnostic says it's not. And I'm like, motherfucker, I have dealt with these before. I'm telling you it is. And I'm like, my whole mentality is like, yeah, I could have bought a new one, but I didn't want to spend another $300 on a graphics card that should have worked right in the first place. Like,
exactly.
So I keep going, and in August, keep in mind, August, this is 3 months after I've gotten the PC and I've dealt with these issues. They're like, okay.
And now this is right. And now this is right. By the way, this is right in the middle of the graphics card crisis. So now graphics cards are $800 plus if you even want basic, high-end graphics card, like a 3060.
Yeah,
I bought my 3060 for $900.
Yeah, no, this is true.
In 2020.
And it was bullshit. But like, in August, they're like, okay, why don't you send the PC to us? We'll take a look at it and then we'll send it back. Okay. And I was like, you know what? Fine. Fuck it. If it gets this shit fixed, I don't care. Like, I can live without a computer for a few days. So I can just do my schoolwork on my phone and that's that.
Whatever. Right.
Yeah. So I sent them the PC and they basically said, basically what they did was they sent me a package. And they sent me this foam, like their custom made foam to put inside the case, that it would protect the motherboard and everything, right? Now, here's the other side of it. They didn't give me instructions on how to use the foam. It was their own custom brand. There was no instructions on how to use it. No, not a single bit. So here's how that goes. I reach out to them and they're like, oh yeah, I don't have the instructions for this on hand. Are you sure they didn't send it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking sure. It's not in the fucking package. And I tell them this, and they're like, okay, well, we can't really help with that. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. Fuck you too.
Oh, okay,
so
right.
I sent them the PC. I just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to have to do my best to package this thing and hope fucking FedEx doesn't break it. But it's FedEx. But it's fucking FedEx. So I send him it, and it arrives, and they're like, hey, we're going to have to charge you like another $250. And I'm like, why? And they were like, oh yeah, well, your motherboard got bent and it's no longer functional. I'm like, what do you mean it got bent?
Oh
And they
my
were like, "Oh, well, you
god,
didn't
yeah.
use the foam that we had sent you." And I was like, "You guys didn't fucking send me instructions. I have the fucking chat receipts right here. There were no instructions on how to use it. It was nothing like any other foam blends I've ever used. You did not tell me how to use it."
Yep, that's their fault.
That is literally their fault. Yeah. No, and they were just like, "Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do." So I had to pay for a new motherboard out of my own pocket for that. Even though it was their own fault for not sending me instructions on how to use their
Also,
custom blend. No, hang on, it gets worse. But they sent me the PC back, right? And they didn't replace the graphics card because they said, "Oh, we couldn't replicate this crash. There's nothing wrong with it." And I'm like, "Motherfuckers, I am telling you, I have documented this. I have been talking with you for 3 months. There is something wrong with it." And it goes on for another 2.5 months. And I just don't want to. And they tell me again, "Well, why don't you send the PC back to us?" And I'm like, "I don't want to because I have no guarantee that you guys aren't going to break the fucking like computer again because you guys use FedEx and they suck." So eventually, like I get somebody who's actually reasonable from that company. This is 8 months later. So this is now March of the next, or no, sorry, this is 1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah, I'm trying
December. This is December now.
December.
This is 8 months later. This is December of that year. They finally are like, "Okay, why don't you send the PC to us and we'll just replace the graphics card and that'll be it." And I said, "No. You guys send me the graphics card and I will send you the old one because I'm not sending my PC back to you fucking idiots." And for you know what's really stupid? They made me pay for the graphics card and then refunded it when I sent the old one back to them, which was stupid as shit.
That's so stupid. I get it. It's like an insurance guarantee, but that's so stupid.
It's an insurance thing, but it was a faulty graphics card. Like I don't even know why they wanted it back. But it was the stupidest thing. And I will say I did kind of, like I don't know if I've like accidentally scammed them in the end or anything like that, but they sent me like the next generation graphics card. I don't know if they did it because they felt bad or if it was just because they fucked up. But they sent me the next gen graphics card, and I was like, "You know what? I'll take it after all the shit you fuckers have done to me." But yeah, it took me 8 months to solve that issue.
Didn't
With
they send you like a 3070?
3070, I had a 2070 in it originally. It was 3070 Ti, and I'm just like, "I'll take it."
Well, there you go.
To be fair, like
I mean,
I will say that like,
crazy is like that's,
I'm gonna sound like an asshole here. Probably, I fucking deserve that after the shit they put me through
You
dealing
do.
with that. Like
No, you do.
months. Even if they had messaged me and been like, "No, sorry, we need that back. Actually, we didn't mean to send you that." I'd be like, "No, you can get fucked." Like, no,
yeah,
I have never.
You better cease and assist me because this not coming back.
You don't even cease and desist me. You better come to my house myself and knife fight me for this shit because you're not getting it back. Like, I can't even begin to describe. Like, you guys see, I'm a little heated right now because I can't even begin to describe how angry I was the entire 8 months that I was dealing with that. Because I have never in my life had a customer service like group be as horrible as NZXT's was. They were nightmarishly bad. And I'm dealing with the same thing with Ubisoft right now because my account is currently locked due to 2FA and I don't remember the password. And apparently you can't even submit a claim, like a ticket for the account. You have to get them during their live chat hours, which, mind you, they only do live chat hours 2 hours every day. And it's at 9 to 11 a.m. EST. So I have to be awake 6 to 8 a.m. my time in order to chat with Ubisoft to get my account locked. Now, for those who don't know, my sleep schedule is fucking ridiculously fucked. So I have just not been awake from the 6 to 8 a.m. hour mark recently, and I can't get my Ubisoft account, which is driving me insane. So yeah,
I can go into a whole rant about Ubisoft, but I'll save it for that tech episode.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can get my account as of tomorrow.
Ubisoft is a piece of fucking shit company.
They're horrible,
awful fucking company.
But unfortunately, they have Watch Dogs.
Yep.
And
Siege.
Yep. Anyways, moving on from our anger with tech issues. This episode is
topic at hand, right?
Yeah, the episode's supposed to be summer camps, and we have 40 minutes to do it. So we've got some time, but it's going to be some summer camp stories for y'all. We did an episode last year which involved some really bad zipline disasters and so forth. And this is going to be our end of summer camp episode.
Pretty much.
Ooh.
So, do you want to go first, or do you want me?
Either way, to be honest, I mean, I've got a couple stories that I can think of.
Okay.
I'm just thinking like which one would probably be best for this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of like a good one that I haven't told already. Because I told the story about how the kid got stuck on the zip line, right?
Yeah, you've told that. I told the one of how I slammed into a tree on a zip line and all that. I mean, I have a good I have a really funny like 30-second story that happened like when I was like 6 years old at a summer camp. We were all going on a bike ride, and this was when I was still learning how to ride a bike, and I wasn't fully like confident yet using the brakes, so I hit a tree.
Nice.
It wasn't anything bad. I was just like riding, and I just fucking smacked the tree head on and fell over.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything like really bad or anything. I wasn't hurt. It was just really fucking stupid because I wasn't confident in the brakes, and I was just like, okay, how do I? And then I hit a tree. So there was that.
Yep. Here, how about this? You pick out a story. I'll pick out a story. We'll make a title. All right. And whoever we think has the best title, will go.
Okay, that could work. Okay, we're gonna take like a minute break real quick and just think.
Yeah.
All right, I've got
Really
it.
Pondering over there.
Yeah, no,
Got
I'm thinking of like two. Yeah. I'm thinking of two different stories. Like one's pretty short, and the other one's like longer. I was thinking like, what can I come up with a better title for? You know, but I think I've got mine.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Okay. Our group was almost shot by a Florida man.
Nope, you're going first. I've got nothing on that. I have got literally nothing on that. You're going first.
Okay, all right. So
our group was almost shot by a Florida man. That's a fucking news headline in Florida.
So I was like 16. Yeah, I was 16 at the time. Right. And I went to this summer camp. Basically, it was counselors in training, right?
Yes.
So we could go to this program during the summer, and then next summer we could come back and be a counselor.
That's cool. All right.
But
honestly, that's valid.
So this place it's a YMCA, all right? So they have, zip line, you got your courts and gym. There's a paintball field in the back in the woods, and then there's a set of trails that just kind of split off into the woods.
Okay.
Right. So today, so on this day, we were gonna go on the trails, right? Because there's a creek, right? Nice little creek that we were all gonna walk through, right? Yeah. And we were gonna go walk all the way down, see what basically just fuck around. There's about, I'd say, 15 of us. All right.
All right.
So everything was going great, We were walking through the trail. Only one person has slipped so far, and it wasn't too bad. They just got soaked, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's how it goes.
We're about an hour in of fucking around. We find this one. Now we get to this one area where
they've done the fuck around. They've done the fucking around part. Now they're gonna do the finding out part.
Exactly. Pretty fucking much. So there's this point in the creek where it splits off. It's like a three-way split, right? So there's two directions going that way, and we came from the bottom direction, all right?
Yeah.
And in the middle is like a deep pit, right? So we can jump off it's kind of in like a valley, I guess you could call it. It's kind of like a ditch. So there's places that we could jump off the side of and into this deep pit, right?
Okay.
So the people that had, swim trunks and bathing suits, we all, got ready, and we were all jumping in, having a blast, right?
Yeah, I mean, as you do, it's fun.
Yeah, and now I've been sitting off to the side. I did a few jumps, but I've been sitting off to the side here for, a couple minutes. Just kind of chilling, relaxing. It's hot outside. It's like 95 degrees. It's Florida, whatever.
It's how it goes.
And I've noticed that there's one thing I haven't told you about this these woods. Well,
oh no.
If you go far enough into these woods, we start to get to neighborhoods, but it's not your typical neighborhood.
It's like a
right?
redneck type
These
shit, isn't it?
neighborhoods are just exactly. It's just
Yep.
like houses on roads, right? On a
Yep.
random road that you could just pull off of, right?
Oh, it's like
And
countryside housing.
kind of, sort of, right? It's like in the middle of the woods, sort
Yeah.
of, right? It's just undeveloped, right?
Yeah.
So we're all jumping in, and I'm just sitting back, and there's one house about, I'll say, 100 yards up, a little bit up a hill. I know
Yeah.
hills in Florida; it's very scary. Um, but there's a house over there, and there's another house about 250 yards that way, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I look at the house to the left, and they have like a chicken farm and stuff like that in the back, right? There's a couple animals. We hear the chickens, right? They had they had a turkey in here. Now this is where we got it. This is what got us in trouble.
Oh no.
Turkey started gobbling like crazy, like you know
Yeah,
how
because I
turkeys
mean,
sound, right?
when it's bold
Right.
and they see like unfamiliar people, it's kind of like, well, shit.
Yeah, exactly, right? So then we all started going right back to the turkey because it would respond back.
It's shits and giggles type
Right.
shit.
Just shits and giggles, usual thing, right? And then I'm standing, I come back with the group and I'm standing in the creek. And I'm looking at the house, the same house that's on the left. And I swear I see this figure just on the fence line, right? There's trees in the way, so you can't fully see it, right? I just see this, I think I see this figure. I'm not really sure, right, if it's a
Yeah.
person or not. So I'm like, it could be like a scarecrow or some shit like that, right? Because we have a lot of seagulls and crows, so they'll come and steal the chicken's food and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking up there. I don't mind it too much. And then all this look back up there about, I'll say 3 minutes later. This figure is now behind a tree about 50 yards away up the hill,
No, that's terrifying.
right? And it's a big burly white man, all right? He's a bit of a heavy set, right? And I'm like, "Hey guys. And I talked to one of my friends. We'll call him Sammy, right? I'm like, hey, Sammy, you see that, right? That there's just a man watching us over there, right?
That's terrifying because, like, what the fuck? They're just there. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, I do see him. So we all start to get a little concerned. I'm like, hey, guys, chill out for a second. I think someone is literally staring at us right now, and nothing was bad about the figure. Like, if it's just a dude trying to keep kids off his property, whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, sometimes it's just like the upset neighbor that's just like, hey, get the fuck off my property, please.
Exactly, right? The issue, when the man, the only way I can explain it is he came around the tree and basically stood with his hands on his hips, looking down at us. And I'm like, huh, that's kind of odd. And I
Yeah.
look a little closer at him. Lucy, there is a pistol in his belt right here,
Yep.
and a rifle,
On
an
his back.
AR-15 wrapped on his back.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, guys, we need to go. We need to leave.
No, absolutely.
We
Listen,
gotta go.
I don't care what anybody says. If you're in America and you see somebody carrying a gun, like, that's just your immediate sign to leave. I don't care. If it's anywhere
Not-
outside of their own homes, you fucking walk away. Like, if you are in the
Especially-
public, in the wilderness, anywhere, and you see somebody walking around with a gun in America, you fucking leave.
especially in Florida, where stand your ground laws are heavily encouraged. So
I just call
we
them
all
murder
start
laws
to
at this point, 'cause that's what they are.
well, yeah, we'll get to that later. So we all start to pack up and get our shit together, and I'm like, guys, we should hurry up. This
The dude's
I'm
watching
not
us
gonna
with
say too much,
guns.
but let's get it moving. I didn't say the part that only me and Sammy noticed that he had a gun so far.
Just kind of like, let's get the fuck out of here
So
before he
yeah,
approaches.
let's go. We need to leave. Okay, let's head back to the camp. And then the second I start to put my bag and shit away, I look back, the dude is gone.
Nah,
And
fuck
I'm
that.
like, guys, run. I don't know where he went. I don't know how close he is now. Run.
No,
Okay?
I would do that
What?
too. Fuck that.
Yep. You want to know the worst part, Lucy?
Huh.
After we so all 15 of us run fucking full sprint down this creek. Okay? I was the guy in the back just to make sure everyone fucking went, right? The worst part, Lucy, is we were about 200 yards, a little more than that, maybe 300, down the creek again. I look back at the pit. He's standing above the pit that we were just jumping in.
Yeah, fuck that.
Nope. Nope. And that was my cue. That was my cue to leave.
No, honestly, like as soon as you get bad vibes, like my whole thing has always just been, I don't care what logic says. Trust your fucking instincts. If you are uncomfortable, leave.
Leave. Yep.
Like just
So yeah,
don't just logic it out. Be like, oh, maybe they're doing that because that's how you get murdered. Like just fucking go. If you get a bad vibe, go.
Yep.
I don't care if you're wrong. Go.
Yep. So we told the counselors. Now I think this is probably the worst part of the story. And we told the counselors, hey, there's I privately said to one of the counselors, hey, there's an armed man at the jumping pit. That's kind of what we called it, at the jumping pit. Back in the deep part of the creek. You probably shouldn't take anybody back there. And she's like, well, I'm really glad you said that because we were about to take the small children over there.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's actually a really good thing that you said that.
There was so we were all divided into groups, and I think it was like Team Turtle. There was ages 8 through 12. Right. Okay. Right. Okay, that would have gone real well.
Yeah. Nah, fuck that.
So that was fun.
I have definitely got a similar like horror story similar to that. But I'm gonna go with a different one first. It's a bit more lighthearted and kind of just weird.
Okay.
Now this happened. No, was it 20? No, I guess this was 2021. Yeah, this was 2021. So this happened like August of 2021. I was up camping in the mountains this year in Nevadas. And this happened like, just after dusk. It was like 8:39 p.m. I think. And it was already pitch black out, right? Because sun's going down earlier. So it was already pitch black out, and I'm standing outside on like the porch of my cabin. Yes, it was not like tent camping; it was cabin camping. Say whatever the hell you want, but I'm out there, and I'm on the phone with my partner at the time, and I'm just chatting. So normally it's just kind of like my own like normal night, right? Now this is where it got a little weird for me, and I know what a lot of y'all are going to immediately think this might have been a meteor shower, but this is why I don't believe it was. So I'm out there on the phone with my partner at the time, and I'm just kind of chilling, and all of a sudden the sky lights up blue. I'm talking like bright as fucking day blue. Like it looked like the sun was out on the ground. And it lights up for about 5 seconds, like going from west east. So it's coming from the coast of California across into Nevada. And I just kind of like pause, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck was that? So, like I run inside my cabin and I ask my family, I'm like, yo, did anybody else fucking see that just now? And they're like, yeah, what the hell? They're like, well, someone said yes, and then the others were like, no. And I was like, the sky just fucking lit up blue. And like, there were other people outside too that also saw it. So like, I wasn't hallucinating or anything.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was really weird. So like I texted some buddies who were in Western California for me. And I also texted my buddy who was in Vegas, and I was like, yo, did anybody just see like a bright fucking flash of light in the night sky? And I got some yeses and some nos. And normally it might have been a meteor shower, right? But with as bright as the sky got, I was kind of just like a little freaked out. I was like, that's kind of weird. That's really kind of weird,
Yeah.
actually. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that was about it. Like nothing else strange happened. But the weirdest thing was, is like 2 days later, I looked it up and I couldn't find a single news article or even a mention online about like the lights.
Nothing.
Like nothing at
Oh
all.
yeah,
Like
it's always like that.
there were various social media posts that were like, did anybody just see that bright light in the sky? And that was about it. But like I couldn't find a single news article. I couldn't find anything from like NASA or any other space agencies that said there was a meteor over Northern California. Like nothing at all.
Yep.
And I was just like, what the fuck?
No, I think it's funny. This is not correlating with your story, but I think it's funny because I live in Florida, right? There's so much panic that happens every time fucking SpaceX launches something into the sky. Do you know how many phone calls 911 gets? They'll be like, "Oh, there's a UFO in the sky. It's going up. I don't
To
know
be-
where it came from." Dude.
To be fair, that's because SpaceX doesn't say shit. Like you remember the panic that happened when they launched something over LA?
No, that's the thing though. Here in Florida, they do.
Oh,
Matter
okay.
of fact, they have a 24/7 live stream of the launch pad. So you
Lovely.
definitely know. You definitely know when something is going off. I
was
don't
gonna
think
say,
they have
'cause
one for the California Center.
No, they didn't. Because in LA, they didn't say shit. They launched it, and it looked like something blew up in the sky over LA. So everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I did see pictures of that. It looked like a giant like jellyfish in the sky. Some
Yeah,
shit
'cause
like
as it
that.
launched off, it spewed a bunch of stuff out to the side, and it looked like something blew up, and it was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But yeah. I will say though,
Yeah,
relating back to the summer stories, I do have a similar horror story to that.
Okay.
Now, I just want to preface this with saying I don't believe anybody shot at me or my friends. Like I genuinely believe it was probably like a stray arrow. And it was not a bullet; it was an arrow.
That's one hell of a way to start a story.
Yeah, it really is. But I just want to preface it with I don't believe there was hostile intent. I think there was a hunter in the area who just fucking missed, and it nearly hit me and my friends. But this is also up in the Sierra Nevadas, and I believe there's a hunting reserve up there. I don't know for sure, so I could be dead wrong, and someone might have actually tried to murder us, but I really don't believe that's the case. But me and my friends are out, like, we're all hanging out one day, we're all just kind of relaxing, and we're out hiking some trails. Now, this, mind you, is the same group of friends from the Halloween episode last year that we got watched the waterhole. This was not the same year, but this is the same group of friends.
Oh god.
Yeah, we have a lot of fucking shit, unfortunately. But so yeah, same group of friends, and we're all just hiking some trails some days. So we're like in the backwoods of the camp, maybe I want to say 5-6 miles away from the camps. And I think there's a hunting reserve out that way. I've never personally checked, so I don't know. But yeah, at one point we stop on the trails, we're all like snacking and just talking a bit, and we're relaxing, looking at some views and stuff. And we're sitting, and it's just a bunch of heavy tree and bush cover around us. Like there's a stream maybe about 50 meters away. And we can hear it. So that's going on. And that's why personally I believe that this might have been like a hunting accident gone wrong. Because the shot came in the direction of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all just sitting there, and then all of a sudden I just hear this fucking thunk, like maybe 5 feet to my right. Literally, I just hear. All I heard was just, hang on, where's my desk? All I hear is just this, and that's it. And I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And I looked to my right. There is now an arrow embedded in a tree 5 feet from where my head is. Now the stream, mind you, is behind us. It is that way. And the tree is right here, and I see the arrow embedded in it like that. And I'm just like, and at first I'm thinking, that had to have always been there, and I didn't see it, or I'm hallucinating. And I look to my friends, and they both have the most terrified looks on, and I'm just like, I'm not hallucinating?
Okay,
that
so
was
I'm
not
not
there.
hallucinating.
I know, I look at them, and like, immediately I'm thinking, that was just fired. So Number one, like, this is my own personal opinion. I find it infinitely scarier to be shot at with an arrow than a bullet. And that's because the bullet, you can at least generally tell where it comes from.
You have no
And
clue where an arrow comes from.
not a clue. The only clue you have is the direction that it's pointing in the opposite direction. So all I know is that it came from behind us.
Oh, great.
That's
right.
all I know. I don't know where exactly that person is standing. I don't know anything except from the fact that it came from the general direction of the stream. Now, that is terrifying in and itself. But the other terrifying part is the fact that none of me and my friends said a word, but we also didn't hear anything. Like, there was no like guy yelling sorry or anything like that, or just like there's nothing like that. We heard dead fucking silence. And that's not something you want to hear when you were in the middle of backwoods wilderness. Like, backwoods wilderness, and then, like, that's it. So, for all we know now, there is at least one other person out here with us, possibly more. But yeah, there were no other arrow shots fired. Like, I will tell you guys, like, it wasn't like a kind of thing where we just like everybody get up and run. Like, it was kind of everybody just kind of lowered to the ground for a minute. We were just kind of like, all right, nobody move, nobody fucking scream, stay on the fucking floor, and in exactly 60 seconds, we're booking it back down the trail.
Yep.
Now, we laid there for about a minute, and I don't even need to tell anybody how high my anxiety was at the time. Like, we're all laying there, and we're just like, holy shit. Because if someone was actually after us, all like in that minute, they could have walked up and just been like, all right, you fucks are dead.
Well,
like,
yeah, we're screwed.
Like, yeah, we didn't stand a chance. Like, the hope, like, you know, the hopeful side is somebody was hunting us. It would hopefully have been a 3v1 at least. But we also don't know how many people there might be.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, we have no information except a general direction of the arrow.
Yeah, it was all you know is an arrow was shot in this direction from that way.
Yes. Now, this is where it gets like infinitely scarier for me. I don't know if it might have been like the archer coming to retrieve his arrow or whatnot, but while we're laying there, like about 5 seconds before we all get up and fucking book it, like maybe 25 meters away, I just hear like crunching of leaves.
Crunch.
Yep. No, I hear exactly one step, and I'm just like, as soon as I hear that, we all exchange a look, and we all just fucking get up. We ditched half of our shit there, and we ran down that fucking trail. I'm talking like full dead sprint, 6 miles back to the camp.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we did not stop once. And I don't even know if it was just that. It was just like the whole fact of like, just knowing that someone could have been following us, especially if they were after us. Like, there was no evidence that they did follow us or if anything that, but just after the arrow, after that like 60-second kind of holy shit, and then hearing the fucking like a footstep, I was like, no, we're done, we're out, everybody fucking run.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 2 out of the 3 experiences I've had up there with that group of friends, and we have since just refused to go back up there together, since every time we're together it goes to hell.
Yep.
Like, I'm thoroughly convinced if we go back up there together again, we're just gonna die.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's fucking horrifying.
I think we have time for one more story.
We've got like roughly 12 minutes.
Oh, so how do I start this story?
Not getting shot by a Florida man would be a good start.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know what? I'll tell this one instead. You know, speaking of mysterious aircraft, and flight things, there's this one time where I there's a reserve kind of behind my house. It's been reduced down ever so slowly over the years because of all the development that's happened, right? But I used to have these neighbors, where we had basically 2 friends that lived, a house down from me, right?
Yeah.
And we would just fuck around in the woods, right?
All right.
So we were back there. It's kind of like a swampy area, swampy Florida reserve of just nothing. It hasn't been touched or anything, right? And it's about I don't know, like 5:30. So the sun is starting to go down, but it isn't quite down yet, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe 30 minutes into us fucking around. We're all just sitting there. We're probably playing fucking bubble gum in a dish, some dumb shit like that, right?
That's how it goes. Anytime you're with friends, you just do the stupidest shit.
Yeah, right, exactly. Oh, by the way, I'm 12 at the time.
Nice.
Just to put that into context. Um, so we're, fucking around in the woods, just chilling out. And all of the sudden, we hear at first it was really quiet, right? Because there's a lot of airports. There's a literal airport. One of the biggest Air Force bases in America is very close
Yeah.
to where I live, right? So I hear this plane, right, start to go overhead, right? And I'm like, okay, whatever. It's just a plane, right? No problems here, right? And it starts to get louder and louder and louder and louder to the point that it's like right above our heads, right?
That's worrying.
Yeah, and it's really loud. Like it's not like an airliner making a U-turn path, because that's right where my house is to get into the airport,
Yeah.
right? I'm literally right along the flight path. I've flown over my house a billion times, right? Um, so we hear this plane, and I catch a glimpse of it, and it's a big. I don't think it was. I think it was just a cargo plane. It was a big military cargo plane going overhead. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then not even 10 seconds later, all we hear is
Jet.
two. I don't know what type of aircraft. It was two jets flew right over our heads at maybe, I don't know, 1,000 feet.
That's
Something
terrifying.
like that. That's not even like no legal height to be flying that low at all.
They only have that. Only have that legality if it's an air show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they do that
and,
here in SF during
you,
Fleet Week, but that's not a flight show.
Yeah, I assure you, that's no normal flight path. All of a sudden, two. We'll call them F-16s. All right, because that's the closest
Most
thing
common.
I saw them. Yeah, two F-16s blitz over our heads.
That's terrifying.
Out of completely nowhere. And we all shit the bed. We full sprint out of the woods. And we're like, go in the house. We'll figure out what that was later.
I ain't getting carpet bombed today.
Nope, not today. Sorry, buddy. Not today. I think, in all fairness, it was probably just some training, right?
I was gonna say it's probably military exercise, to be honest.
It's just military exercises, right? That happens all the time over my house. But it has never been that low.
I was gonna say that's definitely interesting that it was that low. And I mean, as like all great cover-ups in the military, it's always a training exercise. I'm kidding. It's always a training exercise.
NSA, that was a joke.
Yeah, exactly. Please don't shoot me.
But yeah,
I have no desire to harm myself. I swear. No, but yeah, no, that would be terrifying. I have definitely been on like the docks at Fleet Week when they've like flown right over your heads like that, and like around 1,000 feet clearance. And not only is it loud as shit, but it is just terrifying to see like just a plane fly that close to you.
Yeah,
like sure. I know, like
seen...
driving on highways and stuff near airports, you see stuff take off right above you. There's something like just specially vulnerable about being like your own just person right under a big ass aircraft flying over you. It's terrifying.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean that's about it.
To
be honest with you, a lot of my summer camp stories are kind of boring.
Yeah,
Like, I
same
didn't
here.
really have.
Next summer we're gonna have to come up with something else because I don't have a lot more summer camp stuff I can do.
Oh no. We'll figure that
We'll
out.
figure
Don't
something
worry.
else out. But I will say I will leave off with one kind of lighthearted summer camp experience I have, and this is not from me attending a summer camp, but being a counselor at one. Um,
Hmm.
I got jumped by about 30 kids.
Yeah.
And that's
Let's
not
go.
yeah, that's not a joke. I'll give some context to it. One of the other counselors, as a really funny joke, thought it would be great if he just convinced this whole group of kids um to just jump me pretty much. So we had games like capture the flag in the middle of the week, just keep kids entertained and everything. So
Right.
one of my counselors, he gets this other counselor, and the two of them, it's a guy and a girl, and they're just both like, all right. The guy talks to one team, the girl talks to the other team, and I'm like one of the refs basically out in the field, like with like 3 or 4 other counselors.
Right.
Mid game, they stop. They stop going after each other's flags, and suddenly I get chased by everybody. So there is like 17, 18-year-old me fucking running for my life from like 30 fucking grade schoolers because just out of nowhere, like they all just like locked heads on me. Like, you ever played one of those horror games and all of a sudden like a bunch of heads just lock on you as soon as you enter a room? That's what it looked
Yep.
like. Like all of them just locked heads on me, and they just started running, and I was like, "What the why me?"
Why me?
No, because I just didn't understand it. But like eventually, because I can't break out into a full sprint because one of my legs goes out behind me. I'm gonna kick a kid, obviously. And then also I can't avoid them forever, and I can't run out of the camp like bounds, because if I do, they're gonna try and follow me out there, and that's gonna be a disaster if anybody gets lost. So I'm like running in circles on the field trying to keep them there, but also trying not to get tackled. But eventually one of them latches onto my leg, I fall over, and like 30 kids like dogpile my ass. I swear to God, it was great, but I was like, why? What is going on? It's like, yeah, the one kid like grabbed my knee because I didn't see her creeping up. So she grabs my knee. I end up hitting the ground, and like 30 of these kids just dogpile me into the fucking grass.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because it's even like, it's just, the best part was that I had no fucking idea why I was being chased. And then afterwards, as we were like closing out the day and everything, those two other counselors come up to me and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that was our fault." And I was like, "You motherfuckers!"
You mother.
Because I'm like, why was it like immediately me? Like, how did every kid just react at the same time to chase me on opposite teams as well? And then as soon as they came up to me and were like, "Yeah, that was us," and I was like, "Ow, fuck you both." That was great though.
But yeah, I think that'll wrap us up here, right?
Yes, that is the first episode back under the new name, the LoofCast.
Woo!
Hell yeah! But yes, as always, we hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be seeing you again on August 30th. What do we usually go with? Right. Upvote the podcast, share, subscribe, follow, whatever the fuck the button is on whatever respective site you're on. If it's likes on YouTube, if it's the following on Spotify, whatever Apple's is, and whatever the Amazon robot behind me that I'm currently terrified of my life to say is just interact with the podcast. It really helps our analytics, helps us get noticed, and we hope with the new rebrand that people will actually start to understand our podcast for more of what it is, rather than being Satanists, because we're not. We're just two content creators who have a very good passion about making stuff.
I have a very religious family, so it was so hard to try and explain. I had to wrap around the question of like what the actual title was, and sharing it out and stuff like that.
I've had to do that. I'll admit, I'm not religious, but most of my family is, and I cannot tell people the name of it. I can't tell any of my family about my content creation stuff. They're just like, "Oh, well, what's your internet persona?" And I'm like, "Satan." Yeah, that makes everything so much more awkward.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, now we are the LoofCast. So we hope you guys enjoyed this kind of first episode as our new podcast. And we hope to keep making stuff from here. It's going to be a lot of good things.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, also stay tuned to our new TikTok. The link will be in the description. I'm not sure what it'll be. It'll probably be like the LoofCast on TikTok. I'm actually going to start uploading for once. I've cut some stuff up from the latest episode already. I'm going to cut some stuff up from this. And they will be up there. It'll probably be as short as I can make. I'm going to try include full things in it. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of good stuff. Either way, we hope you guys enjoyed. And you got anything else?
Nah, that was it.
All right. As always, then, hope you guys liked it, and we'll see you all on August 30th. It means is it 30th or 31st?
Oh, I don't know. 30. The end of the month. Okay.
The end of the month. It's always either the 30th, the 31st, the 28th, 29th, whatever the fuck the day is. It's the last day of the month. That's where you can expect an episode from us. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy the rest of your days, nights, whatever time it is, and check out some of our earlier episodes if you haven't already. All right? Have a good one, y'all.
Bye.